Hey guys, Lost here. Time for me to review my top 5 picks for the mods of the month for May. Hope you guys enjoy. So we are going to start off simple with a retexturing mod called Euroforce. This mod is a simple retexture for Arma 3's NATO, Blue 4, and AAF factions. Not only does it retexture the conventional army or the conventional military, it also changes up some of the special forces with the Altis, Black, Desert, Navy, Snow, and Woodland camo. If you want some lore behind the Euroforce, it was founded in the year 2027. It operates in 50 countries and on 4 continents. It's noted for its peacekeeping mandates around the world in Israel, Syria, St. Petersburg, and the United States West Coast. Some of the other features include retextures of the vehicles, infantry, including weapons, vests, headgear, and backpacks, and it throws in some other patterns and such for the apparel that you can use. Now, on the other side of that, there are the CSAT Snow Tigers. Instead of the Euroforce, it's Snow Tigers, and that is obviously for the CSAT. It is the same type of thing. It is a retexturing for most of their vehicles and clothing. Lots of hex patterns and such. Both of these mods do work with Zeus and Alive if you want to make any missions with this. So personally, I've always found the CSAT forces look kind of silly in the vanilla Arma game, and they still do look silly with this mod. It just, looks slightly less silly. So number 4 on this countdown was actually brought to my attention by a comment on my last monthly review, and this is Lost Veterans Kurama Island. This is the only map mod I'll be showing since I review a lot of maps, so hold tight. This is an extremely detailed map. It is a set of about 5 islands. It is around 22 kilometers squared. It has a large airport as well as a smaller airfield. There are many small villages and compounds. There are also a lot of clearings to make map editing easier, and there's also a cool underground submarine base. Now, as to where this map is, what kind of place this is, it is a group of islands at the southwest of Japan, part of the Ryukyu archipelago, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, in the China Sea. This map has some fictional elements that aren't part of the real islands, and this island is not actually in the alpha stage. It is a fairly developed map, unlike some of the other earlier maps I've reviewed. This is a completely playable map, of course, with it being a mod, though they are continuing to add things in, even though it is done really well and has been put together just really great. What I really like about this map is all of the different islands. There's 5 of them, each with its own kind of thing going on, with a military base and an airport and a town on one. It's just a lot of different sections that you can do a lot of different things on. So as you can see, I just kind of threaded the needle there through the underground submarine base. Now I kind of flew over to one of the smaller islands. It is this little castle fortress. It's old and crumbling, but I thought it was pretty cool, so I decided to fly over and check it out. Overall, this map is definitely a cool place, and I would definitely want to take a vacation here. The next one is another one that was brought to my attention by a comment left in my last video, and this is Bloodlust. This is one of those really must-have mods if you are doing any type of immersion or realism stuff. The name kind of explains itself. It adds a little more blood and gore to the game, so you can really get that chaos effect during combat. So obviously in Arma 3 there is a little bit of blood. If somebody gets wounded, there'll be blood on them. But if somebody's up against a wall and they get shot with this mod, there will be a splattering effect against the wall, as well as blood on the ground around their feet and where they fell over, as you can see. If you were to combine this mod and the head gore mod, it would just be an absolutely gruesome time in Arma 3, and it would just be complete chaos. Another thing about this mod is the explosions, like the grenades, for example. If it blows up, it will absolutely annihilate somebody and just wipe them off of where they were standing. There will be bits and pieces and body parts all splattered around which would just be absolutely nasty if you had to fight like that and have your, teammates getting blown up all around you like this. If anybody wants to share a new mod with me or with other people, or just let me know about something, by all means, say something in the description, leave me a message. I would love to check it out. I can't keep track of all of the mods that are released for Arma. There's just too many to count. I really try, but I just can't keep up. So we've made it this far, and we are to the Unsung Vietnam War mod. If any of you have been following my channel, you know that I have reviewed this mod actually 2 times before. Once when it was originally ported over to Arma, and again when the developers released the Bravo version. Well, now in the last about 24 hours or so, they have released the Bravo version to the public, so that is why I am reviewing it right now. This mod brings the Vietnam War to Arma 3 with 2 maps, along with all the units, soldiers, apparel, and vehicles from both sides of the war, including the US forces and the other forces that fought alongside them in the 60s and 70s. I highly recommend you check out my other 2 videos regarding this mod. There's simply too much for me to review in one of these monthly reviews here, but I'll show you the best I can. There is really a lot of content to this mod, from all of the uniforms and all of the weapons, from all of the factions and nations and armies that fought in the Vietnam War. There is so much to offer. It's pretty crazy how much stuff is jam-packed into this mod. It is actually a 3.1 gigabyte download, so it is a fairly decent size if anybody's going to go out there and download the mod. It adds in so many little things that you can modify to your uniform or to how your soldier looks in the arsenal, that it really brings out that era or that time period that a lot of the world had to fight in and be a part of. If you're interested in history at all, I definitely recommend this mod. I really like it, and I'm actually part of a sort of tactical realism unit that does a lot of Vietnam stuff, so that it's a lot of fun to play with. Up next, down at number 1, is a mod that I am super excited to show off. This is another historical mod, and that is the Iron Front Liberation 1944. Much like the Unsung mod, it completely changes the game. It converts Arma 3 into a World War II mod based on the Eastern Front of the war. This mod has 5 maps, a large variety of historical vehicles, weapons, units, and apparel. It adds in soldiers from all of the, or most at least, of the different sides of the war, including the United States, Polish forces, Soviet Union, and several branches of the Nazi army and military. Now, I'm kind of a history nerd sometimes, and World War II really got me interested in loving history, that and the original Call of Duty games. Now, this is not a brand new mod. This mod was in Arma 2, and it was based off of the actually original video game Iron Front Liberation 1944. If I remember correctly, it was then introduced to Arma 2 along with all of the, the modding things that Arma can bring to life and really just enhance the game, which I think there was actually a DLC added on to the original video game working with Arma 2 and all of the editing possibilities there. In my past experiences with this mod, when it was originally, or I guess it was ported over to Arma 3, sort of, it didn't really run that great. I never really had any great experience with it. So just within this last month, I believe it was actually put out there, looking good, playable really well for the most part, and I think that's pretty dang awesome. So we are getting to the end here. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all the feedback. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys later.